Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment. You can listen to the Mike O'Mara Show at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Let's get started.
It's the Mike O'Mara Show with Mike O'Mara, Oscar Santana, and Robb Spiewak. Now, here's Mike.
Oh, like that. Welcome to the Mike O'Mara Show, Roanoke, Virginia, Deadwood, South Dakota. I've been there. I got very ill there. No, I was very ill there.
Was that not you and Jimmy? That wasn't with you and Jimmy,
that was me
it?
and Jimmy.
Oh, okay,
I
remember, yeah.
And was Jimmy on that trip? God, now I'm getting... Yeah, Jimmy was on that. Of course he was.
Stonehenge.
I went to a bar in Sturgis, drank all day, next to a place where they were doing what are called hole shots, where they were burning rubber, and it might have been that, or it might have been just I caught a cold, and I was just deathly ill, and all the guys went off to see the sights and do these long rides. I stayed behind, but even in my illness, my degenerate gambling got me into Deadwood, South Dakota, where I spent a lovely ill afternoon sharing my germs on all the different slot
I seem to
machines
recall that the burnouts left almost flecks of rubber hanging in the air that you were breathing in.
It might have been that. I always thought it was that because it was so intense, but I think really you have to be mindful of the fact that, alcohol was... We left our motorcycles.
Understood.
We were there so long, we left our motorcycles behind.
I'm following a degenerate gambler from Vegas that gives me all the insider local gambling tips for Las Vegas as we gear up for hopefully a fall show there. Teaser alert.
God. And is it valuable?
It's the stats he puts out.
You're licking your lips, Mike.
Gambling Monday through Thursday in downtown Las Vegas versus the Strip, and how friendly the slots are in downtown Las Vegas versus the Strip Monday through Thursday. He said Friday through Sunday, it's a push. They're all the same. But Monday through Thursday, because this is like an inside.
Sure.
Like if you're a Vegas local.
Mm-hmm.
Downtown.
Downtown, where we love downtown.
Yeah.
Vegas.
Down where we hang out.
Yeah, where we hang out.
Like the Nugget.
But I sat there and I'm like, how about a Wednesday show?
Wednesday afternoon.
Wednesday show. That'd be great. Airfare would be cheaper, too. I want to say hi to Jackson Township in New Jersey. Do you know where that is, Rob? Do you have any idea where Jackson Township
I don't have
is?
any idea. I don't.
New Jersey is weird. There's
No, but I love, Jersey has a lot of townships. I do like that. I like that.
Glacier National Park in Montana. Never got that far on my Western Odyssey last year, and I wish I had because it's beautiful. And now, an undisclosed Air Force location in the Middle East. Someone's listening over there.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm watching the show Tehran right now, season 2. I've already binged season 1. And I'll talk about that in just a second. And Comisano Vicentino. It's not Vincentino, or it's Vicentino.
Vicentino, I think, yeah.
What is it?
With a soft C. I think you had it right.
Is it near the boot or the top of the boot?
I think I don't know the location.
Is it Italy?
It is Italy.
Vicentino, Italy.
Yeah.
The Mike O'Mara show is on right now.
The township in Italy.
Lucchese.
I have a question for you guys and our listening audience that concerns what you can turn that down now.
Okay.
The getting older and my concerns about the inner government and whether the mind is functioning at the same level that it functioned back when I was a man in my 30s. I have to ask this question. I mentioned to you before the show and just now that I'm watching Tehran, which is a show about espionage and interesting and secret agents and all this stuff in the Middle East, in Iran. And I am reasonably sure that I watched almost the entire season and then bailed for some reason I don't know, and then went back and watched it again, but really didn't pick up on it until I was deep into it. Let me explain what I'm talking about.
I don't think you've watched it before because I've not heard of it. And you would have probably brought it to us.
Well, first of all, it was when I put it back on, I was at episode 6 of season 1. And that means that I did go watch it, but I didn't
unless
believe
Michael
that.
was watching it.
Or I think sometimes when you have a couple of places,
Yeah, also
people
yeah,
might
people
be
will start
watching
something and
that.
then like
Yeah,
I know.
I bailed on it.
Yeah,
obviously.
Yeah. And it's slow. It starts out slow.
It
starts
slow.
out slow.
And then I rewatched it, but I also I didn't really clue in. I would have moments. Maybe it just wasn't compelling to me at the time. And
Who
I'm watching
plays the
this-
Shah?
The Shah of Iran.
Yes.
I'm watching this and I'm
Magnum
saying,
PI.
Oh, he's good.
I'm saying to myself,
Tom Selleck.
this is familiar, but not totally familiar. And then maybe I got to the end and
Homeland.
I picked up on it.
think of
It's very
Homeland?
Homelandish.
Yeah.
Very Homelandish. Yeah.
If you recall, I was fortunate enough to walk through the International International Spy Museum
yes.
with Jana Mendez, who is the widow of Tony Mendez, the CIA agent who was able to get the hostages out of Tehran.
Mm-hmm.
And then
They did the movie about it.
correct,
Yeah. Mhm.
correct.
What was that
not
movie
Fargo.
called?
Jesus Christ.
Argo.
No, what?
Argo.
What was
Argo.
that movie
Argo.
called? Where
Argo.
Ben Affleck
Argo.
plays the guy that gets
Argo.
all the people out
So
of
Ben Affleck's character,
Yeah, Argo
Argo.
it was a great movie.
is
yeah.
her husband, right? That's who her husband's based off of. Who just
That's
passed.
pretty cool. And you toured the Spy Museum with her?
3 hours as we were walking from exhibit to exhibit, and
Did you feel like you had been watched?
no, what I felt was true. There is a full exhibit on
I take back what I said before the show.
No.
that extraction
That
of
wasn't a pun, though.
the
It was funny.
hostages.
That's cool. That's very
And-
good.
Carrie has she chaperoned a field trip for one of the kids to the Spy Museum.
It is, Mike. When I tell you this, so we all remember the Spy Museum next to the Verizon Center,
Yeah.
or now the Capital One Arena. What they have rebuilt
In downtown Washington,
Correct.
D.C. people.
What they have rebuilt is 4 stories and like
That's my
600,
third head shake in the segment.
$600 million later, like the closest to any high-end Disney experience that I've ever seen at a museum. Very modern, and aside from being able to walk around with established author and at one point the chief of disguise for the CIA. That venue, right,
Mm-hmm.
is just so compelling. So that's why
I remember way back when I lived there, that the Spy Museum was kind of a meh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
now
Not
you tell
anymore.
me it's force. I mean, that's because I think there probably are so many things that we didn't know.
There's so much.
seem
They
to-
got a lot of grief when they opened that it was just sort of like a great location and
Yeah.
not much to see there.
Well, I always felt
This is when-
that they didn't reveal a lot of the old stuff
Yeah.
they did. You know,
Right.
that they were even in the historical context, they weren't being very forthcoming in that. But here's the car that so and so
Yeah.
drove. Or
Yeah,
something
the
like
the
that,
new
you know?
one is a completely different experience,
Mhm.
and where you see, there's a presidential seal that's carved out of wood that was gifted to the ambassador of the U.S. ambassador of the Soviet Union, and at the opening, it was like kids gifted this wooden carved seal as like of an eagle. So he had
Okay.
it in his office,
Really?
and it's inspected, right? Obviously,
Right.
it's inspected. If there's anything inside of it, it's X-rayed, anything.
And the inside of this
The
wooden carved seal was microphone. By the way, was it sealed with the emblem of United States presidency, or was it sealed as in bounce beach ball on its nose?
No, not that kind of seal.
you're close.
Flipper.
Okay.
The
Not flipper, sorry.
The shape on the back of the wood carving
Yeah.
was a disc shape that was specifically created to reflect sound off a wall once it was hung. So once the wooden sculpture is hung on a wall,
Yeah.
it becomes a microphone that when you essentially like a parabolic mic is
So if
pushed
you're on
towards
the
it,
other side of the wall,
you hear what's happening in the room
Fantastic.
Oh, so they bugged the anteroom.
with the gift.
that didn't even look like a bug
That's
because
cool.
it was
I like
all done
that.
geometrically.
Now I get it.
Yeah.
Now I know what you're talking about.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. I like that a lot. I
Still
like that,
stay away from the museum, though.
The
Closed.
museum, not that big a deal.
We're closed.
But
Shut it.
So
you
now
know,
more than
it's
ever.
virtual now.
Yeah.
So but I'm getting back to the fact: has anyone ever watched the show, waited a year or so, gone back, watched it again, and you put it out of your memory banks? I always think, no offense to our wonderful author who's been kind enough to join us, James Patterson, but those kind of your John Grishams, your James Pattersons, your Stephen Kings, sometimes those you burn right through one of those books, and the retention is
Mike,
is
it
a
happened
little
with
tougher,
Yellowstone.
Yeah,
Yellowstone's prolific.
Absolutely.
I went back to watch it with Shannon because you started
Pick up on different stuff.
Yeah, you're like, whoa.
And also, it's happened to me with movies before. The first time I watched Forgetting Sarah Marshall, I couldn't stand it. I don't know if I was in a mood or something.
You hated it. You
Okay.
thought that guy
And then
was
I
too
watched
cute.
it again, and I thought it was fantastic. So I mean,
Hysterical.
Yeah.
And by the way, a guy that doesn't Jason what's
Segel.
his name? Jason Segel doesn't make enough movies, in my opinion. I think he's a funny guy. I'd like to see him
he was
more
in the
stuff.
series about the Showtime Lakers. He was very good in that.
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic in that, along with Adrian Brody.
Yes.
Both fantastic in that. So, anywho, I just felt old, and then I
Are you back in
finished
Tehran?
watching it.
Is that something I should get
I'm
back
back.
into?
I finished season 2, episode 1.
You know
and
who
that's
else
where
has been
I
to
am.
Tehran? Or
Who?
Tehran?
What?
My father spent a
Really?
month and a half there.
But he
after
doesn't have a family there.
hopefully not. After a massive earthquake, we're sent there on a
Really?
diplomatic mission.
Well, it's funny that with all this
Probably shouldn't be telling the world that.
with all the stuff going on in the world, it's Ukraine. We forget that there are other enemies out there floating around, and this is intrigue and spy stuff, and it's fascinating, and it's wonderful. Before we bring our talking head in, I want to get this out of my system very, very briefly to share with everybody my concern for my own lack of news knowledge yesterday when Oscar said, jokingly at first, but then you guys realized that I really had
You didn't know.
missed on the 4th of July because I was floating around and playing a little golf and then taking my son out and then going to a fourth thing with some friends of ours. And I didn't watch any news at all. I was completely news-free on the 4th of July, and I had no idea about the absolute horrible tragedy in Illinois with the guy that was shooting people from a rooftop. Again, 7 people killed, another mass shooting, and as soon as the show was over, I practically ran to the computer to update what was going on, and there we have it. And 2 things that popped into my mind, and I've said it before on the show, is the repetition of the news coverage that you see that I have grown almost nauseous with when I watch it because of the you get some responsible reporters, but you also get your share of those excited reporters that want to scream in a manic way about what happened, and that just makes me think deep thoughts about the culpability of the way these things are covered. I think that when it comes to major television organizations, and both things I'm going to say here would probably impinge on our rights as a society. So sorry about that. But sometimes I think there ought to be a playbook about how certain tragedies are covered in such a way that make them, I don't want to say glorify what happened, but certainly make it show busy. Does that make any sense?
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
And I heard an anchor today say that these are some of the factors that have increased these events happening, and one of them is copycats. And if you get an excited reporter that can't wait to cover it, that's sometimes what the next culprit needs to go after it and
it's
make
just
it happen.
It's a level of disengagement
Mike,
that pisses me off.
The entire press corps could take, and just journalism in general, and we all understand it's a business, but you take that Muppet-looking kid, the murderer, and all you have to do is implore what the NFL does. Is you never show the streaker on the field.
That's right.
You never show the protester on the field. Yeah, once they're captured, you throw their mug up and you blur the face, and they're literally No one's ever going to remember them.
It's a non-person.
You know, I love the blurring of the face where you never, ever give them
shame.
And
them.
I think that you could have a summit, and of course there would be a weasel or two online that would make every effort not to do that. And getting back to this particular individual, and I wrote this down, so I want to make sure I get it right. As far as the big brother element of society, I don't think it's a bad idea that we certainly expanded our military with Space Force. Why not expand perhaps national law enforcement, subset of the FBI, maybe NSA, maybe who knows? I'm not a professional law enforcement individual. How about a little subset dedicated? And I know they have people that pay attention to online activity, but I'm talking about these, and excuse my language, I refer to him as a wing fuck. This just heinous looking individual that you're repelled as soon as you lay eyes on the guy, because there's just nothing that approaches normalcy about his entire way of being from the video I looked. And I think it's time that when it comes to these online presences that you hear, you know, where you hear about these people that are doing, time for a little big brother door knocking for some of these guys. You know what I mean? Where you roll out and you check the computer and, you know, you hold up a badge and go, we're not going to lock you up or anything. We're just coming in because we've had a concern. We've had a concern because you put a little list together of what would arouse the concern.
And with that,
hold on, let me finish. Photos of death, images of death, images of searches for murder, searches for weapon, and I know they do it to a degree, but I don't think they do it nearly as much as they should when it comes to a guy like this that was out there very publicly about what he was all about, which was, Captain Weirdo.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's become easy in the age of computers. Every law enforcement agency, from local to national, should be in touch. They should communicate.
Guys, at the root of this, it's easy. You got a face tattoo. You barely have any facial hair. You just hit puberty. You got to have at least 2 weeks in a psych review before you get anything.
Yeah.
Americana, people taking themselves out to a 4th of July effing parade. Out there just doing that. 2-year-old kid loses both his parents, an orphan, because some sick bastard is doing that. Yeah, I'm mad. Don't want to dwell on it. You've heard it. You've heard it all before. But how about knocking on a few doors? Yeah. How about a little more of that, And by the way,
how about
to
our
listening audience, how about we do it? We start on this show with, if you're aware of anybody who's a little out there, you make a few phone calls.
Yeah, like someone who has a lot of Japanese figurines.
Matt Bloom, no.
And coworkers that, are just horrible.
Hey, man, we love you.
Yeah. Yes, coworkers that are horrible to you before shows start. Let's bring in our talking head. His name is Bob McCarty. Bob is joining us from Ireland. His wife and daughter emigrated there last August. Would that be an expat? Is he an expat?
I believe so.
Bob joined him in December after selling the house and finalizing things in the USA. Oh, my, right there. That is all I require to have a lengthy conversation with this man, because he's doing something that I think maybe more people than not have fantasized about. Because of all the endless rules and regs, the move took over 7 years to make a reality. He says the relocation to another country is the most challenging thing he's ever done. Bob lives in Ireland with his wife of 18 years, Darlene, and his daughter, Max, nearly 15, his Labradoodle, Daisy Doodle, and 2 cats, Cookie and Misty. That's what kind of I was talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every, name of the pet. That's exactly what I was talking about. His wife is a native of Oxon Hill, Maryland. Lovely this time of year. And a listener dating back to the WAVA days. He's been a fan since the 90s. At the time, he was working in radio when he heard Honk for Cash and was hooked, which he did until 2003, a radio guy. He is a TMOS podcast listener since day one. Bob is essentially fresh off the boat in Ireland and is currently between jobs, but did spend some time as an Irish meter reader. That sounds like a joke right there.
It does.
An Irish meter reader. His sugar mama, Darlene, is an MRI tech, and he never misses an episode, but admits to currently being about 2 weeks behind. Favorite voice, James Garner and Jack Cassidy. Favorite thing about TMOS, Bob likes the ball busting. And the fact that TMOS is not a sports show, not a political show, it's just guys talking about stuff on their mind, just like real life. Bob's last program director is a name from my past. Oh, I might have to leave with that now because I'm super good. This is Bob McCarty. Hi, Bob. How are you? Thanks for joining us all the way from the old sod, my boy. How are you?
Hi there. It's an honor and a pleasure, sir. It's an honor and a pleasure. Can't believe it.
Sounds like you're from Ireland. It sounds like you're coming to us from Ireland because it's kind of echoey and it's just like, I'd like about 3 Guinnesses right now, please. Thank you very much. Yes.
I wanted to be outside, but it's raining, of course. So I'm in the kitchen with the bad acoustics. I'm sorry.
It's raining in Southwest Florida, so don't worry. Program director from my past. I have to lead with that before I get to the whole expat thing, which I'm fascinated by.
I'm disappointed you didn't lead with my pets' names, honestly.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Bob. You get the joke. Thank you very much. Yeah. I appreciate that. So you worked for a PD that we shared a PD experience or what?
Yeah, for about 3 years, Smoky Rivers. As I told...
you happen to mention the one that made me spit my water out. Thank you. Oh, my God. Fred Flanzer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Golly,
that's what everyone called him, and he hated it.
Yeah, he loves Smokey. He loves Smokey Rivers. Greatest promo ever devised by Smokey Rivers was this, and it aired on WAVA. I'm not sure what year. I don't remember years.
Oh, I know which one it is. I know which one.
You do? Is the one about the signal problem?
Yeah, if you can't hear us, let us know.
If you're having trouble receiving WAVA, please give us a call. It was funny.
Was he responsible for Nick's sticker?
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. I believe it was the name and everything. And I did a Humphrey Bogart voice or something. Mm-hmm. Hi, stick with a winner and win with a sticker. I'm Nick Sticker, and I had to wear like this big pinstripe suit and drive around with Frank Murphy in the WAVA prize van. Sucked. And nobody had stickers. I swear to God. It wasn't like it was Whip It Out Wednesday. Yeah, we should have known that back at WAVA.
Yeah.
Or Q107s that were everywhere. But the best, I think, was, as much as I had a radio war with Opie and Anthony, their Whip It Out Wednesday, there were wow stickers everywhere. Yeah. That was a wonderful campaign. I want to ask you, just to start with, Bob, the idea, I think everybody, for whatever reason, people occasionally will fantasize, I'd love to live in that country. I'd love to spend time. But you actually did it, and not many people do that, actually become an expat. Where did this come from? Where did it start? What motivated you as much as you want to tell us?
Or leave it.
Love it or leave it. And you left it. What motivated you?
People always ask me, and I don't know how to say it without sounding like a crazy person. Because
go ahead.
It was almost literally a whim, because we first came here maybe 7-8 years ago. Like, I'm one of these people. Like, I don't know years. I know how old my daughter was. You know what I mean?
Right.
But so we were here for 2 weeks and we loved it. And I told my wife when we were coming home, I'm like, man, that really feels like home. I feel so comfortable there. And so then a couple of years after that, we came back on part of we went to Ireland, France, and England. And the second time we were just sitting around. I'm like, how would you like to live here? And she's like, I'm down. And so we started the process, and again, it took a long time. If you don't have money, there's a lot involved with it.
What was
is it like? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I apologize. What was so welcoming? All the white people?
Yeah, all the white people. They're everywhere.
It's always skin color with you, isn't it? It's always. I was going to say that in Canada, I know in Canada, and I wonder if it's the same way in Ireland, when you talk about the money factor, in Canada, you have to run a business or contribute to the tax base to a degree. So it's not is it the same way in Ireland where you have to contribute to the economy of Ireland if you're going to come over here?
Yeah,
right?
Definitely. And Oscar, my neighbor right here is from Turkey, and my neighbor behind me is from Jamaica.
I'm just
there you go. Stick that in your Bolivian pipe and knit it.
I was just,
What?
Why do I have to knit it?
But anyway, basically, being in media, I could get a job here, but like you have to have certain qualifications.
Yeah, just like a visa coming to the States.
Yeah.
Like you have to offer something to the population.
Exactly. But then it lucked out, like the whole thing with my wife going back to years, like we flipped-flopped. Like I was working and she was working and I was out of a job. Then I got a job and I had put her through school when she changed careers and she became an MRI tech. And then that qualified her to become a critical need. So she's critical need here. And that we already had the plans, but then that really kind of kicked it into gear. And
man, I'm out. Carla wouldn't be Carla. She can wash faces all day long, but as far as the esthetician, I just don't see that.
I don't know. It depends on what county you land in.
Like if you're in Tipperary or something like where it's like, for the love of God, I need a hydrofacial.
Yeah, I need
a hydrofacial as soon as possible. I really do.
Old man just with terrible blotches.
You're in the arts, though, Mike. Arts, there's certain exceptions.
I could do
that.
Could I? Let me ask you that, Bob, because I'm not kidding. I'm fascinated. Could I do this show from Ireland and would that be something that they might say that's okay because my name is O'Mara?
It's difficult. Yeah, well, you could get a work visa and you could be here. Now, I don't know.
Could he open a pub?
Stay.
Okay.
You could, but yeah, that's the thing. If you open the pub, if you had enough money and you own property, that's another thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
it might be time to bring back the Impressionist camp, Mike. I think that would be the thing. Yeah,
teaching young Irish kids. How to
teachers, that's another, education's another one of the, under the umbrella. There's an umbrella, there's a list of.
I like the idea of O'Mara's too.
No, I don't want to go back into the bar business. Certainly not in Ireland where they invented it practically.
I like the idea of O'Mara Elementary School.
Let me ask you this, because I have to be, this is a serious question.
Oh, here we go.
When you are, when you're talking about doing this and you mention money, to get let's say a 2,500 square foot home, kind of an average sized house, 2,000 square feet, let's say, over in Ireland, what's the rate for that? In America, housing prices have gone through the roof with inflation. What's it like in Ireland right now?
Well, we've been in 2 bidding wars and we lost so far.
So you've been a bidding wars like we have over here for properties that you want.
Yeah, and now we're kind of thinking, everyone's telling us that there's a crash coming. There's a crash coming. So
hold tight.
We're just kind of
6 months. You're in a better spot.
That's what we're thinking.
There's a chance.
But we were looking at a 7-acre farmhouse. It was a farmhouse from it was built in 1830, I want to say. No, 1930. Yeah, 1930. And so it was bare bones. It needed a lot of upgrades, but 7 acres came with it. And it started at 220,000 euros, which is probably around $240 US.
That's not bad.
But to be fair, his bid, Mike, was 8 sheep and a milking cow.
Right.
But you're glad
after
all that you've been through with the process of getting over there, it was obviously more than you expected when you went into this, right? It was more effort than you expected. Would that be accurate?
It was, again, we never lost focus. It was eyes on the prize. Plus we got lucky too. We got lucky with selling our house in West Virginia, which is out near Winchester, because the price, even that's far enough from DC where the prices were going up.
Yeah.
Wow. And then then we moved to Colorado when I worked for NBC, and within 3 years, our house almost doubled in price.
WNBC.
So as Albert Brooks would say in Lost in America, we've taken a ride on the inflation train like you would not believe. So after all you've gone through to do it, it sounds like you're delighted. Is it home to you? Does it feel like home? Has it continued? Yes. I'd like give me some of the pros and if there are any cons that come into because we're running short on time and I want to hear about that. So the pros and the cons of moving to Ireland.
Well, the pros again, like my wife got here in August with my daughter. She started school and she started work, in August, and I had to stay behind to sell the house, to get all the drive across the country with the animals, all that crap. And I got here in December. So it was probably a little bit in like February. So we were just sitting around talking and she's like, so, I mean, what do you think? Do you think we did the right thing? And I said, oh, definitely. And she goes, I'm glad you said that because like this whole sense of calm and peace, like just the stress has left our bodies in a way. It sounds weird, but it's true. So, I mean, listen to this. Like when you get a job, right off the bat, to start, everybody 4 weeks of vacation, and then there's 10. So
Mike's used.
Sorry, Oscar. For a workaholic like you, would want to work.
What did you say when he was talking?
I'm sorry, Mike's used to 4 weeks as a minimum.
Yeah, Mike's used to that. But I was saying, Oscar.
I don't know what we do now. I don't even think about it anymore.
Yeah.
So I mean, and the. Is it less it's less divisive over there? It's less political. It's less angry.
Well, yeah, people disagree, but everyone is just it's so true what you hear, the cliches. Everyone is just so friendly. They'll give you the shirt off their back. Everyone is so super nice. Even being an American, and is there any anti-American sentiment? Because I've always been curious about that.
We've been watching Tehran.
No, well, I did overhear two young ladies talking in a cafe. It was funny because I didn't confront them. It's weird. One was from Colombia. One was from Asia, someplace. I'm not sure. I didn't see them. I just heard them. They were behind me talking. Okay. And the lady from Colombia had spent some time in Mexico and then a little bit of time in Texas. And the other lady was asking her, like, well, what's it like? I've never been there. And she was just saying, oh, it's just the racism was like driving me crazy. It's like we couldn't go anywhere without getting harassed and blah, blah, blah. And then I guess they summed it up by saying, well, Americans live in a bubble. They just think about themselves and they think they know everything, but they don't know anything because they don't consider the rest of the world. And so my wife gets up to pay the bill. I stand up and turn around and go, so speaking as an American, I pause and you should have seen the look on her face. She looked like, oh my God. And I said, I can't disagree with anything you just said. Wow. But we're not all bad. Just so you know, we're not all
That's
bad.
a cool thing to do. So, I think I would have probably handled it exactly the same way.
Overall, though, the Irish people, and I mean, this is an isolated incident you just said, what is their overall opinion of the United States as a nation? I mean, we're coming off a few really trying years over here. How do we, just put it lightly, how are we thought of overseas?
Well, I think they're like I am. They're confused. They love Americans. They love America. That's the number one question I get is what the heck's going on? And I'm like, mass psychosis. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know. What do you want me to say?
Because the Irish people, politically at least, have loved Republican presidents and loved Democratic presidents. I mean, they have. Mm-hmm. It's happened for years. There's statues to Ronald Reagan and Bill Clinton over in the same country. I mean, it's where we are right now. JFK, my God, first Irish Catholic president, like a god over there.
Mm-hmm. I think, in fairness, if I may,
here we go.
It's easy to say that we have it all wrong. When this, he
didn't say that. Who said that?
The tourists that he was overhearing.
All right.
Yeah, they weren't Irish.
Yeah, in my opinion,
they weren't Irish people. They were minorities.
I think they were students.
The greatest place on earth to live, and there is no equal. And if that's ethnocentric, coming from an immigrant who's a naturalized citizen, I must say that, yes, are things a little wonky? Absolutely. And from a perspective of like being in Latin America and people coming back and people wondering what we're doing, the whole world's wondering, and so are a lot of people that live here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a tough time. It's a tough time. Before we let you go, Bob, really fascinating discussion.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw that, I was looking forward to chatting with you. Anybody you want to say hello to here in the States or anywhere in your radio world outside of Fred Flanzer?
By the way, well, first of all, I'd just like to say us moving here had nothing to do with wanting to get out of America. It really had nothing to do with it. It was more like a sense of I want to go. My great-great-grandfather was born here. I've done a lot of family research.
You were called to it like a siren from a mermaid.
Exactly.
That was so close to being right.
That was so painful.
I mean, really, he's just on the
What's the right
outside.
thing?
Siren's call.
The siren call.
Oh, God damn it.
If a mermaid called you with a siren, it would involve a fire truck.
He was going to say something important. Go ahead, Bob. Finish your thought.
I think I did. That's pretty much it. It was nothing. Nothing political. So
anybody you want to say hi to? Go ahead.
Eric Wadden, he's a big TMOS fan. Bradley so-and-so, I can never remember his last name. Peter Fetters, he's the guy who told me about the podcast after you guys went off the air on WJFK. I didn't know about it. He tuned me into that.
Thank you, sir.
My cousin Jimmy, my Uncle Foster, who helped me with the animals, because getting the animals over here is we could do another whole show on that. So, John Falger, Florida man friend, and my friend Jason Hinkeldyer. And that's about it, I guess.
That's awesome.
Mike, one quick follow-up. What's radio like in Ireland?
Oh, radio is old school. It's like, well, you got RTE, which is government owned. And then you have all these little local satellite stations like Galway Bay FM, Clare FM, Midwest Radio, and they do death notices on the hour, and they do.
Are you in the Southwest? Are you in the Southwest of Ireland?
We're in Galway, right outside of Galway, so on the west coast. Like I could be at the ocean in 20 minutes.
Come on, talk about gorgeous.
He should go to the beach and listen to Scott O'Shannon.
Thank you very much, Bob. We appreciate that. Hi to everybody over in Ireland. And really, a pleasure talking to you. Well done.
Bye-bye.
Really, what a delight. Thank you very much. That's Bob McCarty, our talking head for the day, ladies and gentlemen. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we've got news, and the talking head segment was awesome today. Bob McCarty, thank you very much. We'll be right back.
Hey, brah, it's me, California Twin.
What are you doing here?
When I'm not paying $47 for a gallon of gas, I get all of my Twitch needs from the Mike O'Mara Shopping Center. Click the banner at MikeO'MaraShow.com and have your essentials delivered to the East Coast or the Best Coast or anywhere in between.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. This portion of our program is brought to you by Relief Band. I have to tell you, the Relief Band on the little Barracuda Odyssey that I call it down here with my son was just a lifesaver. I was so happy with it because even when I was a younger man, I had a little issue with the slow rollers out there on the water. I was on a vacation somewhere, went on a charter trip, and I didn't do well. When I'm on my little boat tooling around, sometimes it's okay, but on a big, out on the slow rollers, it gets to me. The Relief Band took that away down here in Florida when I went out with my son. It also surprisingly got rid of the rolling waves for hours after I would hit landfall. It just was incredible. This is all due to the Relief Band, the #1 FDA-cleared anti-nausea wristband, 100% drug-free, non-drowsy, 0 side effects. Relief Band does this. It takes a nerve in your wrist. It stimulates that nerve that travels to the part of the brain that controls nausea. It's really amazing. If you've ever been to a chiropractor's office and they put the little electrodes on your back, it's a similar feeling, only much less intense. And now they have a Relief Band Sport that is waterproof. It has extended battery life. You can even attach it to your Apple or Android watch. The best thing about my Relief Band is that it works almost instantly. It's so effective, you won't believe it. You're planning your next fishing trip, or you're just, get nauseous after you fill up your gas tank. Relief Band's really amazing. Join the over 100,000 Relief Band users with an exclusive offer just for Mike O'Mara listeners. If you go to reliefband.com, use promo code TMOS, you'll receive 20% off plus free shipping and a no questions asked 30-day money-back guarantee. Remember, it's better to have a Relief Band and not need it than to need it and not have it. So head to RELIEFBAND.com and use our promo code TMOS for 20% off plus free shipping. And our thanks to everybody at Relief Band. You gonna love it, everybody.
From the four corners of the World Wide Web and into your digital device, it's what you need to know. This is the homepage.
This is the homepage, and we start today with a very interesting story about a guy that just gets tremendous press because apparently he's just a wonderful person and he treats people nicely. Keanu Reeves, still one of the coolest guys in Hollywood. After landing in New York City from London on Monday, he was approached by a kid at the baggage claim. It's a young boy, walks up, asks for an autograph, and as kids like to do, he asked a million questions. Why were you in London? Do you live in New York? And why are you in New York? But Keanu answered every single one of his questions. Sitting there at, you've been on a transatlantic flight
You're
and
exhausted.
you're at the baggage claim, and he answered every question. He even asked the kids questions about his own trip. So that's very, very cool. The whole thing was documented on Twitter by someone standing nearby who got a little picture. Here's the quote from the stranger on Twitter. "I thought I'd share this because the dude is a class act, and little moments like this can make such a big difference in people's lives. We need more Keanus." And I agree with that. He's done amazing thing. Buys everybody on set gifts and stuff like that. Just a nice man.
And doesn't take himself too seriously either, which I think is great. What was the movie, Will You Be My Always or whatever? It was a Netflix movie where he played himself.
Oh, yeah.
And it was extraordinarily funny.
There's a level of me that says there's too much access to Keanu. Like, he needs to fly private. They need to protect him because... It takes one nice guy, but one wackadoo to,
weird times that we live in
with
that, and you would think that maybe that's all. Maybe he doesn't mind the interaction if he's that cool with the kid after doing that. I mean, he likes to do it. I think that's. I just think that's cool. A guy that's not always cool, but I like his movies. Tom Cruise could earn up to $90 million
as he should.
From Top Gun.
Maverick.
It's a masterpiece.
As he should.
Let's see it again.
As he should. Ironically, a movie that he once said would be, quote, irresponsible to make. An entertainment reporter broke down Tom's potentially massive payday. It's all thanks to technicalities in his contract. His salary was $12.5 million, plus 10% of Paramount's gross box office total.
10.
Right now, the movie has earned $1.1 billion. But if it reaches $1.3 billion, Tom's cut would be around $55 million.
Yeah, you take the risk.
Yeah, you take the risk.
Upside, downside, the reward.
You don't take the $20 million payday, and you get it on the back end.
He advocated he wouldn't let him put it on Paramount Plus.
I'm going to slow down for a minute here, even though it's the news. I would just like you to tell me, and I'm not going to throw darts at you.
Okay.
Please tell me why you believe that it is a masterpiece. I mean, I really would love to hear the answer.
Well, I think weaving a movie 20 years later in a way that resonates with audiences, and majority of which have never watched the first film,
right? In
a world of drones and autopilot, the aerial shots.
As far as the technical
story
elements of the film.
I was at the worst little theater in Hyannisport, which is just like a mall, and I still felt like, man, it reminded me of walking out of the theater when I was a kid. I was excited.
I'm sold.
On the masterpiece end
yes, absolutely.
No, you're not. No. Come on. Don't just be flip.
No, I can't. You know what? I thought about it.
You've never seen the first time.
I watched the first one, and I said, I can't believe this is what all the hype is about, this first one. And also, I have a hard time looking at Tom Cruise ever since I read that his middle tooth is actually centered in his mouth.
Ever since we had that on the show, I don't look at him.
And I get drawn into that. I get drawn into that, and I find it distracting. I will probably see this Maverick movie, but a masterpiece.
This Maverick movie.
Yeah, the last Maverick movie I saw had
Maverick movie that
had Jodie Foster in it.
Meanwhile, you're going to see Elvis 8 times in a row.
Only 3. Only 3.
Excessive there.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's going to get a lot of money for it.
You liked it, right?
I did.
With
I liked
boys?
it. It was okay. Yeah. Lots of guys dream about having a bigger package, but would that be a blessing or a curse? There's a British documentary casting right now called Too Large for Love. And it is about guys who are large down there, and it will discuss the hidden problems of living with a very large how it affects all aspects of life, including your sex life, and what help is out there for those in need. Apparently, this is a thing. Apparently, not a thing I've ever had to deal with.
Well, you can never compete in hurdles, I've heard.
Yes.
It's true. Yeah.
And you might want to stick to cargo shorts. As opposed to like Ocean Pacific.
By the way, if I was in that situation, I'd probably have like 4 gym memberships.
Yeah,
just to
show walk
off.
around.
Oh no, you couldn't. No, you couldn't run. It would hurt, I imagine.
No, he's not working out at the gym.
Not to work out, just to go to the locker room.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah.
Sit there and like tie my shoes without my underwear on. How you doing, Bill?
That's
Good to see you.
Mike is tying his shoes without sitting down again.
Like the Captain Morgan.
It's going to air in Britain, but maybe not the U.S. But come on, Netflix.
Is it in widescreen?
It's interesting. That's a problem. You know, I don't know. I mean, I think if it's really like an oddity, it's a problem.
Sure.
I
don't think you can be great at sport. Well, maybe you can. I don't know.
Oh yeah, I played with the Washington Capitals alumni.
Okay.
Trust me.
Got to be careful when you sit down.
No, I mean, when I was in that locker room, and they're professional athletes,
tall boys.
So they dealt
everywhere.
with locker rooms their whole life, and it was just like swing, swing, swing. And I'd be like, please, sir.
Yeah.
Hi, may I?
Gathering speed.
Gathering speed. There you go, Michael. Let's have mushroom soup. Anyway, the biggest problem with exercising is finding the time to do it every single day. That and working out, not as fun as sitting on the couch watching TV. But according to a new study, exercising only on weekends can boost your health just as much as working out every day. Experts recommend at least 150 minutes of moderate exercise or 75 minutes of vigorous exercise for 18 to 64-year-olds every week. That is the benchmark to be an active adult. Active adults are less likely to die from things like cardiovascular disease, cancer, diabetes, and other diseases compared to couch potatoes. You could hit those targets with a brisk 30-minute walk 5 days a week or a more intense hour and 15-minute jog once a week. There wasn't a big difference in the death rates for active adults, whether they did their exercising throughout the week or crammed it in all on the weekend.
This is true because the 30th of every month, I walk for 11 hours.
That's very exciting. That is,
and then I'm done exercising for the month.
You are walking, though.
No, I am every day, yes. Yeah.
But how long do you walk?
It takes about an hour. I do between 3.5 miles a day.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You're covered.
Literally,
you're active. You're an active
alive.
adult now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful. That's right. How about you? Do you do any regular stuff, Oscar?
There's enough sweating in my day in this suit to get me right into like, okay, this button's not going to pop today.
Yeah, I was going to say his cardio is getting that middle button done.
Yeah.
I have to. By the way, I got the word today. My 90 minutes a week with my trainer.
Yeah.
That I do now. He said, "Yeah." Got to throw the cardio in there. Yeah. Thought I could get away with it the rest of my life. Nope. Got to get on the bike, take a 10-minute walk, whatever, something like that. So
how's the strength training going though?
Strength training is going really, really well, except for this is really getting into the minutia of it. Where I had my hip surgery, it's groin pain, and it's always been there. Mm-hmm. And I gently told him today that maybe those exercises that work that area at the very end of the workout, when I'm completely gassed, maybe not the best idea, Tim.
God,
I think I know what's causing the groin pain, and there's a movie in England that you should be in.
Yeah, because it's very difficult.
Straight to video.
It really is.
Straight to video.
One reason people have dogs is to scare off burglars, and a new study found it really does work. But don't thank your dog just yet. Researchers at Ohio State compared crime stats in different neighborhoods to how many dog owners there were. And they found that more dogs does equal less crime, but it's not just because your dog is scaring off burglars. It's also because you are. They found that people who walk their dogs basically have the same effect as neighborhood watch groups patrolling the streets. Lots of people are out walking their dogs every day. If that's the case, they notice stuff that's amiss, and it's kind of like neighborhood watch.
Yeah.
There's an even bigger difference in areas where people know and trust each other. So if you have a good relationship with your neighbors, that counts too. Reach out. Neighborhoods like this, let me see. Know the guy over here, not well. Know the guy over here, have socialized with him. Know people across the street, very nice. Know people directly across the street. I'm going to end it right there. That's it. So high-trust neighborhoods.
When you walk your dog, do you see the same other people walking their dogs all the time?
I see the same people walking their dogs every day.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah, wonderful people. High-trust neighborhoods with lots of dog owners have around 2/3 as many robberies and half as many homicides. So that's interesting.
It is.
2/3 less, I guess. It wasn't written the right way. Let me give you the last story. Little something
Okay.
right now. There's a large public outdoor pool in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, a town that I have driven through multiple times. Love Portsmouth. And they were expecting a full pool on July 4th, but there was a break-in the night before, and someone vandalized the pool.
Oh.
Police say they believe someone jumped the fence and defecated in the pool. So it had to be closed all day so that the water could be shocked and treated. To be clear, that's what it looked like happened. The police say they aren't going to bother testing the deposit to determine exactly what went down. The pool reopened yesterday. Police are investigating, but it's unclear if they have a suspect. They'd be in trouble for trespassing and vandalism, but other than that, the number 2, there was no major property damage. Everyone knows that they could have just called Carl Spackler to smell it and take a bite out of it. I actually played the clip from Caddyshack with the pool.
Yeah.
It's very visual.
It is.
Does not
It
translate to audio, but I thought if we can turn that drum down for just a second, I thought perhaps just a little Carl Spackler as tribute.
Okay.
Because I love the movie. And,
Sure.
Carl Spackler, ladies and gentlemen. Let's listen, shall we? Here we go.
What an incredible Cinderella story. This unknown comes out of nowhere to lead the pack. At Augusta, he's on his final hole. He's about 455 yards away. He's going to hit about a 2-iron, I think.
Oh, long 2-iron.
It is.
When he got all of that, the crowd is standing on his feet here
He's
at Augusta.
hitting geraniums.
The normally reserved Augusta crowd going wild.
Just hitting geraniums in the yard of the golf club.
For this young Cinderella who's come out of nowhere, he's got about 350 yards left. He's going to hit about a 5-iron, I expect,
Wow.
don't you think? He's got a beautiful backswing. He got all of that one. He's got to be pleased with that. The crowd is just on its feet here. He's a Cinderella boy. Tears in his eyes, I guess, as he lines up this last shot. He's got about 195 yards left, and he's going to... Looks like he's got about an 8-iron. This crowd is going deadly silent. Cinderella story, out of nowhere. A former greenskeeper now about to become the Masters champion. It looks like a miracle. It's in the hole!
There it is. Yes.
It's in the hole!
Thank you.
Hey,
Thank you.
in
All
the
right,
hole,
that's
yeah.
good. That's good. Carl Spackler, and then the bishop takes him out and gets hit by lightning.
I don't think the heavy stuff is going to arrive for quite a while, sir.
That's right after those scenes back, they back to each other. We got to take a break. Anyway, we're at the beginning of the show. Doesn't feel like that, but we'll be right back.
Condo Bob.
I consider HBS to be one of the greatest branding jobs I've ever done. He will henceforth be Condo Bob.
Big fella, went about 6'8", 3.5 bills on him.
Condo Bob! He once lifted a yellow cab straight up over his head to save a lady with a baby.
He was originally supposed to play the part of Sam the Butcher on the Brady Bunch.
He taught me how to love a woman and scold a child. Condo Bob!
Condo Bob does all of his shopping through the TMOS Shopping Center. One click and he gets what he wants.
Well, While everyone else has to click the banner at MikeO'MaraShow.com, Condo Bob simply orders items through the power of his mind.
Got a condo made of stoner.
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show, brought to you by Dadgrass. Mellower vibes are just a drop or a toke away with Dadgrass. Dadgrass will take you back. Just sit back, light up, and chill out. Do it the old-fashioned way, people. You're going to enjoy your Dadgrass. They're made of CBD, those sweet dreams. Dadgrass, legal, organic, smokable hemp that relaxes your body and mellows your mind. They're 100% organic pre-rolled joints. They're very low in THC, high in CBD, so you can enjoy the effects of CBD while keeping a clear head. And if you want a toke without the smoke, Dadgrass also has a CBD tincture. I always have trouble with that, but it's a little thing like an eyedropper, made with the same high-quality hemp. Easy to dose. The effects come on smooth. All you have to do is chill out without getting stoned, Mom. And now, All Things Must Grass celebrates Sweet George with special edition George Harrison pre-rolled joints or merch. Great for any Beatles fan who needs to chill. All Dadgrass products are federally legal for ages 18 and over, and it ships right to your door anywhere in the U.S. Right now, Dadgrass is offering TMOS listeners 20% off your first order when you go to dadgrass.com/TMOS. Go to dadgrass.com/TMOS for 20% off your first order. That's 20%. Remember, man, dadgrass.com/TMOS. Wow. Yeah, we had some technical issues in the middle of the show. We had to shut down for a second because I was playing Carl Spackler directly from my computer. I should do that every day. A little Spackler goes a long way. Classic with that. Welcome back to the show, Whoa, Whoa, everybody. I wanted to actually discuss the idea of, as far as the Inn at Little Washington, is a restaurant that I loved. And I don't want to throw darts at him, okay? Because I still know the guy that owns it. I still think it's spectacular. And I also am not fishing here, ladies and gentlemen. There was a time in a land long ago, far, far away, when I was railing in much the same way about the elusive high-end sports tickets. I was talking about the Masters. And then lo and behold, unbeknownst to me, a group of listeners led by Stephen Douglas McIntyre, friend of the show, got together and sent me on really one of the great trips of my life. And I was telling people at the Masters about it, and when I would tell them, I would get choked up because I was so touched and moved that people did that. I'm not doing this here. I don't want anything. I just want to talk about this place.
For people around the nation, this is, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, the only Michelin 5-star rated restaurant in the D.C. area.
Is it?
I believe it is. Not the case anymore.
I think at least at one time
giving those things away like they're at Firestone.
What? No,
so?
Every tire company. Every tire company gives a restaurant a rating now.
I don't know. I think you can look it up. Look it up and see what they got. So
5 stars?
I believe so.
Okay, hold on.
Back when it was extremely expensive, I celebrated my daughter's graduation from high school, Elizabeth. Not by getting her anything, a gift. I took her, Carl and I took her to this restaurant, and it was spectacular. And it has always been spectacular. They've treated me very well. I remember back in the cicadas, they made a special cicada dish that was just done the way they do it. However, I am here to say it's official. It is no longer. It has been many, many years because I haven't lived up there. So it's been multiple years, better part of a decade, since I, have been up there. 4 or 5 years probably since her graduation.
The highest Michelin rating is 3 stars.
It's 3.
Oh, okay. 3. Well, then forgive me.
Not 5 stars.
You rube.
I'm sorry I'm not worldly like you. How was Maverick again?
Oh, wonderful. So he is right. It is the highest rated with the highest 3 stars that's available. The Inn at Little Washington, 2022. There are 3 2-star Michelin
in DC.
That's the Ruby Tuesday in Sterling.
1 star. Yeah. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 1-stars. In there.
Okay. Well, I got the rating system wrong, but my notion was on on base.
So the idea with Elizabeth's birthday coming up was that I was going to send her a gift certificate. And we were going to send it. Please. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart.
Don't do this, people.
Please.
Buy a bonus subscription.
I mean it will be rejected.
Your second one.
And it will be thrown away. I'm not kidding you.
Yeah.
Do not do anything. Yeah. Do not.
This isn't like I don't want it, I can't. This
what
is
can
just a
I
conversation.
say? What can I say to communicate this? I don't believe in it.
Yeah.
I don't believe in because I think that I asked Carla, I said, let's look into this. And last night I'm going through this and we're going to get her a gift certificate. And the prefix dinner for two, the base dinner prefix. It's always a prefix.
Can we guess?
Dinner. Go ahead.
Because I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so fixed price menu for two. I'll say
no alcohol.
Okay, well that doesn't affect me, but $6.99.
Oh, that's crazy.
Because you're looking at multiple courses and delicacies and all that.
But, you want to make it special. You want to make it seem $300.
If it's $838.
I could buy a big screen.
Yeah. Let me ask you this: don't you believe that now? And I may have said this back in the day too, but I'm talking about the first time I went there. It was
pair of glasses.
I remember going, wow. A plane ticket to Bolivia. $200, and saying, wow, really? How good is this got to be? And I'm just saying, this to me is like the rare.
The higher end electric scooter that keeps on paying you back.
I guess there are places around the world, right, to do this.
Yeah,
now?
but still, that's a
300 more. Add 300 if you want wine.
That's a pretty severe raise in that amount of time.
If you went back, you could probably trace it. But it just, to me,
the cost of beef has gone up.
Yeah, blockchain
shocker. To say the least.
Internet.
And, and it's so damn good, too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so, I wish more, I wish
Looking
it was
back,
accessible.
do you have one dish that comes to mind that was...
Yeah, I do, as a matter of fact. And it was a simple, tiny little shot glass of I forgot what kind. It was it was a fava bean, white bean soup. Nothing to it. White, simple. The flavor of it was just, you get there, it's one of the first things you have, and it was special. But I'm just like, wow. I mean, and I know I'm in a different world that I am right now. It just, to me, that is...
No, you're right.
Let me ask you this.
No, that is way expensive.
Is this not indicative, what I've said along, as it's grown and grown and grown and grown. It's grown and grown and grown and grown, the gulf between the haves and the have-nots.
Technically, we're in a drought.
And... a place like that.
What do you mean we're in a drought?
I was just making a Gulf joke, like the Gulf of Mexico. But that went over people's heads, so I'm going to retract that joke. They can't all be winners.
That wasn't even in the contest.
It's a lovely line.
Excuse me.
With that,
but
it just was.
It is
global warming and such.
I don't know.
The cost of that is based on the fact they'll only charge what they can get. They're not trying to price anyone out. If they can fill the restaurant, and they can every time.
I'm jelly.
People. Yeah. Well, you should be. It's great. I'll never go again. I'll never be able
perspective.
to. It's just I can't.
If you can get it, Jesus Christ.
That's just spectacular.
Is there a lunch menu that's cheaper?
Yeah, but Mike, this is...
You'd sit at the dining counter.
You have to...
That's right.
Let's take a step back here.
There is a bar in there.
You have to account for someone being able to keep... Because you're rated every year, right?
Sure.
For this Michelin 3-star prestige.
Yeah.
What does it cost to keep that in place? And what Herculean effort does it take to be so elusive that's
Ladies
the
and
only
gentlemen,
one?
another example of Oscar Santana standing up for the little guy.
He loves the winner, Mike. He loves the winner.
We have to take a break. That's right. Yes, sir. Who do you want to sympathize on this equation? The people charging it.
You know what, Mike? They still got 3 stars when it was $200. They were still a 3-star place then.
Absolutely. Anyway, I don't have an answer for you because I got no idea. We'll take a break and we'll come back with more after this.
Has this ever happened to you?
This guy saw me running. He's closing the door, pretending like he hasn't seen me as I'm yelling.
Step up to a new experience in airline travel that's made for a powerful, sophisticated business leader like you.
I buy, you fly.
Santana Airlines shows you the difference between getting where you're going and leading the way.
It's not like we're in a hurry to go anywhere.
Santana Airlines, where everyone is treated like a CEO.
I'm a CEO.
I'm the president, she's vice president.
And as you enjoy the synergy of the amazing skies, use what little bandwidth you think is actionable and circle back to the amazing deals at the Mike O'Mara Shopping Center.
Leverage the value proposition of that low-hanging fruit. At the end of the day, it's a win-win. Just pivot and click the banner at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
It's amazing.
Hold that play!
Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show, brought to you by Sleep Number. So, Mr. Bond, why choose proven quality sleep from Sleep Number? Because picnics, water skiing, baseball games, and summer festivals are even better with a great night's sleep. Sleep IQ data shows sleepers who use their 360 smart bed technology get almost 30 minutes more restful sleep per night. That is up to 170 hours per year. And remember, the longer days of summer can make it more challenging to get the 7 to 9 hours of sleep that experts recommend. In fact, Sleep IQ data shows June is the month where sleepers get the least amount of sleep. And that would have been appropriate to say in June.
That's right. But in the summertime, you get less sleep, is what they're saying.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
What about July when we're saying when we're airing this commercial today, right now, on July 6th?
They still wanted you to know that this is the time of year.
Getting more sleep will actually help you update copy. Keeping your circadian rhythm in sync can help you get the quality sleep you need to get the most enjoyment out of summer and learn to care. So, be like me, get a Sleep Number bed. I wouldn't sleep on anything else.
True.
My Sleep Number setting is now a 65. Carla has been there for a long time at a 65. Why choose proven quality sleep from Sleep Number? Because every great day starts the night before. Discover special offers now for a limited time at your local Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com/TMOS. All right, I have written down River Adventure.
Yes.
A river. Is this a travel tip that you're going to offer people?
I don't think it is.
Okay. All right.
On the 4th of July, both my kids are at it. Well, Carrie's living in Richmond. So, Julia's living in Richmond, so she wasn't a factor.
Who's living in Richmond?
Julia, my daughter. She's
Where's
back in
your
Richmond.
wife living now? Is she living in your house?
She's still in our home, and I see her on our paths cross. And
right.
Robert is at WVU. He went up. He's back now, but he went up for the 4th of July.
Oh, that's nice.
To see his gal pal and to visit with friends. And we weren't going to do anything fireworks related. We can see fireworks from our porch, but the 4th here was just a gorgeous day. Just fantastic.
Didn't you have like a spectacular view from your home?
Oh, yeah.
Of the local fireworks?
The Loudoun County fireworks at Ida
selling point. Key selling point.
It was. We found it quite by accident, but it is. We can see them from our porch.
Well, when they get divorced and they get to sell the house.
I can see Alaska from my house.
So what we did is it was early-ish in the morning, and we had already bought tickets to see the Elvis movie because Carrie wanted to see the Elvis movie after my talking of it, and I was all in seeing it again. My mom wanted to see it again. But the morning, we were free until 4. And I said, Carrie, you've talked about tubing. And there is a place in Berryville, Virginia, which is about 45 minutes from my house.
Oh, I know. The river, wait, hold on. The Rappahannock.
Yeah, it's called Watermelon Park.
Is it the Rappahannock
I believe
River?
It is the Rappahannock River, yes.
Man, yes, sirree, I hear that.
And so I said, let's go ahead and hop online and see if we can get some reservations and go tubing for the 4th of July.
Carrie is a fan, and I know this about your wife, because she was super kind at one point a couple years ago to invite Shannon and I out. And I said, is Rob going? She goes, no, Rob doesn't want to go.
Well, to be perfectly honest, up until this year, I didn't know if a tube would hold me.
You were also a raging alcoholic, so you want to drink at home alone. We get that.
Well, not during the day, Oscar.
I'm just saying that I said, Carrie, that looks like fun, but it's an all-day affair.
Well, they painted.
Quick trivia question.
Yes.
Okay, for both of you.
Yes.
Number one tubing fan of a friend of mine who knows both you guys, not Jimmy Cerrito. Who's got it? My buddy of mine, buddy of yours too. Absolutely.
Mr. Rice?
No. Very good guess though. Same
Jesus.
profession.
Oh, good.
Officer Jerky?
Officer Jerky is the correct answer. Congratulations. That's correct.
Help me propose to my wife.
So
Never went. Never.
Well, I was afraid up until now to do it because I didn't want to sink the tube or
I
get
understand.
stuck in the tube, and
There
also
there are bigger people than you that tube.
Well,
even back in your heaviest,
Mike,
it would have been fun.
You're right. So we drove to Berryville and we pull in, and
That's sweet, like a date.
yeah, and so we park
That's
in the open lot there. It's like a grass field, and right away we're a pretty good distance from the bus where you pick up your tube, and right away a gentleman in a golf cart pulls right up to us, and I thought, hey, gonna get a ride to the bus.
Classy.
That's service.
Classy.
And he
Okay.
says, son, I said, yes. He says, you want to watch your speed coming in here? You had to be going 35 miles an hour, and there's
That was
children.
the greeting?
That was the greeting, yes. And you know what?
Fuck off.
I wasn't going 35. I didn't say that. Thought it.
You didn't get a ride to the bus, did you?
No, I did not. But I think the best part of the whole thing was I said, I'm very sorry, sir. I'll mind my speed. And Carrie said, I find that hard to believe. He normally drives like a grandmother.
Here we go.
I said, okay, thanks for helping. Thanks for helping, sweetie.
God,
So
not a jerk store.
So we stand up and out of the car, we slop on some sunscreen and go to get our tube.
Who's he, the self-appointed
I have no
parking
idea.
lot security maven?
I have no idea, but he has a golf cart.
He's probably trying to keep lot lizards out
And
of
with
the
a
lot.
golf cart, that comes authority.
Suckers.
So, yes, Berryville hookers, Mike.
Guy getting a Hummer over in that Honda
Family
Odyssey.
place. You gotta keep
Over
it
there.
safe.
So we went up to the office to check our reservation, and if I had a nickel for every time this lady said, Speedwack?
Oh, so she doesn't get the name right away.
No, and she's horrible. And I said, yes, 11 o'clock reservation. I know we're about 15 minutes. Speedwack?
Were you late or early?
I was early. It was 15 minutes early.
You're early.
Yeah,
No
good.
problem.
And so she finally found it, and then she ran through a list like she had, like her life depended on it. Keep this red vest on at all times. You're not responsible. If you're under 12, you need to have a life
Legal
jacket on.
checklist. I gotta tell you.
Don't forget to tip your bus drivers because they work on a volunteer basis only. Red wristband. Thank you. And so, okay, so we get put on our red wristbands and go wait in line, and the bus pulls up. And it is a school bus so old that it doesn't even have seat belts in it. And what they've done is they've ripped out the back half of the seats. And you know the emergency exit at the back of the bus?
Yeah.
Every
For the
time
tubes.
everyone sits in, they throw a tube in the back through the emergency exit. Throw it in.
I love
throw
it.
it in. Throw it in.
Keep costs down.
And it is
Bought the bus at an auction.
and
ripped out the
somehow
seats.
on a beautiful 82-degree breezy day on the bus, it's 190 and it smells of foot. And so,
Who's the crew? Like, because this is who I know, and I've had friends go.
okay.
It's primarily like a booze, like
It's
cruise,
alcohol.
right?
It's a lot.
it's
And
not
even though
fuel.
there's a
Be a
no
challenge
alcohol
for you.
sign. There's a no
Yeah,
alcohol sign, but it's
BYO,
not
no
observed.
one's enforcing it.
No one's
all right?
enforcing it.
And I don't want to read ahead, but the bus takes you to the top of the river, and then you float back down.
Exactly.
Okay.
You go up.
Don't people like float their beer in the
Mike,
river?
I'm getting to this because
Okay. All right,
they
sorry
asked
about
when I was checking in, they said that's 2 tubes. Did you want to rent a beverage raft?
There it is. There it is.
I said no.
I
don't want
buddy.
to rent a beverage
Buddy.
What a
raft.
bummer.
All the crap I gave you before the show, and I feel for you because of beverage. This is a challenge for you. This is a
And they kept. And the other thing,
who's
they
the
kept-
guy that wanted me to go every weekend?
Yeah, true enough. And they all kept saying, it's going to be 3 hours. I said, 3. Okay, whatever. So we get up to the top of the river and we all get out, and it's a good mix of young men and their dates, and they're trying very hard to pursue their dates for what young men pursue their
Are
dates
there
for.
attractive women out there on the
Some,
water?
yes, there are.
Okay.
But most of them are a little younger than me, and I'll explain the average guy in a little bit. So we get into the river, beautiful, almost like a lake. It's so still, and I impress myself with how graceful I am getting into my tube. I did a fine job
This
because
is a wonderful experience for you.
I saw a lot of people not doing so well. But then I see what happens is once they get in, the lashing begins. And they begin tying tubes together. I said, Carrie, we should have brought a rope because we're going to be floating separately. And these people, and then I look out and this
Did Carrie bring any hooch?
No. Okay.
All right,
we
good
look
for her.
out there and there is one flotilla of, and I counted 18 people with all their tubes tied together and
now,
3 beverage
Now you're
rafts.
describing fun.
Yeah.
You're describing what might be pretty damn fun.
So we get out there, and for one thing, I don't know if it's because we've had a dry spring or summer or whatever, but there are points when you're on the Rappahannock when your ass is actually touching a rock on the river.
Yeah.
I mean, the river.
It's the drought.
Like the bottom of your...
People are getting out and
Like the
walking
Gulf.
around. It looks like Jesus Christ himself walking on water.
You're like, oh, this is a high spot.
Yeah, so
or
Carrie
a
and
low
I
spot.
we're taking turns holding to each other's. They're tubes that have like handles. They're not proper black like inner tubes that you would have in a truck tire. They're actually made for this purpose.
Like you're going tubing.
Yeah, so we're holding on and we're floating down, and I go past the 18 raft flotilla.
And you're not attached to.
No, I'm not attached to.
Let's take a break.
Okay.
Can we do the thing tomorrow?
Yeah, we'll do the thing tomorrow. Yeah.
Let's finish this.
All right.
We got to take a break. We'll wrap up the show with the raft.
The river adventure.
The river adventure. I didn't know you went tubing.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. We'll take a short break, come back with Rob wrapping this up on the Mike O'Mara Show. And boy, oh boy, it smells like feet.
Just one foot.
We'll be right back at Red Ball Day.
It's a summertime celebration on the latest bonus show, and there's a special guest. If you haven't heard it yet, here's what you've missed. Surprise!
Piss off the rich and famous.
I'm a very handy young lady.
My name is Robb Spiewak, and I'm the new diabetic.
Hey, Pedro says scream real loud.
Hey, 2022, come on.
Oh, are we being snowflakes and sensitive right now?
Let's have a real old-fashioned noisy 4th of July.
My curlies are burning! As Americans, we all have the right to life, liberty, and laughter. Ensure yours today with a bonus show subscription. Just click that banner at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
God bless America. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show, brought to you by Noom. You know, when we decide to lose weight, it's usually not just about the number on the scale. Noom Weight is ready to help. Noom Weight's psychology-based approach gives you the knowledge and the support to build lasting results. Noom Weight empowers you to build more sustainable habits and behaviors. To date, Noom Weight has helped more than 3.6 million people lose weight. Every journey is different, so your daily lessons are personalized to you and your goals. The program is based on scientific principles like cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, to help you understand your relationship with food. It's amazing how flexible the program is. That is one of the things I love about it. It really works for me. I recently recommitted to Noom Weight because it works. Oscar loves it. Yep. I love it. Carla loves it. She's never looked better. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom Weight's psychology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com/TMOS. That's NOOM.com/TMOS to sign up for your trial today. So Rob is about to go tubing. You get into the tube. You see how much fun did those people that were 18 strong
They appeared to be having a good time, and also because there's 18 of them, they're moving slower, so I pass them. I pass them to the right.
Are you
and you're solo. You're solo
I'm
floating.
solo, and Carrie is at this point, I think Carrie actually she passed them to the left, I passed to the right.
But you guys are floating individually.
And they're all lashed together.
Got it.
And then this is something that still throws me to this day. I know I'm 51 years old, but a guy on this flotilla who's not that young says, "Excuse me, sir," calls me sir, like really calling me sir. I said, "Yes." He says, "You want some sunscreen for your head?"
That's sweet, though.
That's very kind.
I said...
So you see you were pinking up?
No, and I think it was a bald joke mostly. I said, "No, I already sunscreened it up." He said, "'Cause you ain't got no hair up there." I said, "Yes, I realize."
Was he busting your balls?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
And then I said, "Yes, I realize I have none hair. Thank you. Enjoy your day." And it's weird.
What about a hat? You think
you didn't challenge him to a fight?
Yeah,
a fight? No, I didn't challenge him to a fight.
In the river.
A river fight
Sir,
on the
do you
rocks.
have a hat I can borrow for 3 hours?
Yeah. So Carrie and I, on the other side of the flotilla, we paddled towards each other and we're linked up again, but we can still hear what's going on the flotilla. And
so you're synced with the flotilla
yeah,
by and large.
Yeah, pretty
right?
much. And that's when I hear the guy that offered me the sunscreen say this, and I actually wrote it down when I got to the car.
That's great.
And loud enough for the entire flotilla,
river.
But a lot of the river people to hear this. I tell you what, have you ever diarrheaed on a golf course?
Wow.
And Carrie
sounds
looks
like
at
a fun lover.
And Carrie said, I'm not sure that's a verb. I said, for him it's a verb. And then the story goes on. Yeah, I had to go into the woods with my golf towel, and when I came out and they saw that towel, and the one of me, well, why didn't you just leave it in the forest? Why didn't you leave it in the forest? He said, I'll take it home and wash it. Honey, toss me some of that Cool Ranch. That's the last thing I need is for him to have Cool Ranch. Now, also part of the flotilla is a young kid, maybe 10. He's got goggles and a scuba mask and a snorkel. Yeah. And of course, there's no better place to snorkel than the river. And and they say, Maddox, don't do that. Maddox, get it back on the Maddox, not too far. Maddox. And then I said, and he looks at me, how you doing? I said, Maddox, you better get back there. He says, nope. I'm going to find something good. Earlier today, I said, He said, yeah, this is our second ride on the river. He
6 hours.
Yeah. He said, earlier today, I found me a cell phone. Seems kind of old, though. And I said, you found a cell phone in the river? He said, yep. I said, you better get that into rice really quickly. He said, no, it was sealed up in a container. I think it's dry. Maddox, come here. I said, well, what else have you found? He said, a firework that had been shot off.
This is like treasure hunters.
I love it. Hey, can you imagine that you get that cell phone home? You're able to open it up and you see the murder.
That's right, exactly.
The murder dirter.
Like a weapon thrown into the river.
Yeah.
You got to wrap it up, Rob.
Okay, so this is the final thing. I'd seen people for the entire length, and it only took about 2 hours. And it was gorgeous and wonderful, and we will go back again, if not for the people watching, certainly for the river experience. But the whole way, remember, the river is so shallow that our ass is almost dragging. You see people walking on rocks, and we get to the orange flag. It's time to get off the tube. And Carrie says, well, I can't really paddle over there. I said, this river has been no more than a foot deep the whole way. Just hop out. Wouldn't you know that right as you disembark, it's about 5.5 feet deep. And
you found the trout hole.
She hopped off the tube and went, bloop. I mean, total submersion. And then she comes up and she says, it's deeper here. I said, yes, I see.
Get Maddox to help you.
Maddox will go under and find your feet for you.
What did he say about the firework? What did he say?
A firework that had been shot off.
Shoot off
and
diarrhea on the
golf course. Have ye ever diarrheaed on a golf? And that's how you play tubing in Berryville.
That's fantastic. But you had a good time, right?
It was a blast. We'll go back. And really, the camping is great when you see, seriously, 600 mobile homes with 2 feet between them. That's camping.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
More smelling like feet. We
Afoot,
got to get out of here. That's awesome. A river adventure. It really was. Tomorrow, Oscar Santana will tell us all about his Podville stalker.
Oh, good.
Guy that really, really wants to work at Podville, and it's uncomfortable. We will take a little powder. We'll be back tomorrow with a brand new episode. And for Robb Spiewak and Oscar Santana, this is Mike O'Mara saying so long, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Ciao, ciao.
Want more? Make sure you check out the Mike O'Mara Bonus Show. Get it at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
It's all a big nothing. What makes you think you're so special?